everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of The Companion to the Companion. In this episode, we will be discussing 6, 26, 19. You know what? Before I even say it, welcome to 1995, everybody. And welcome, Sam, my co-host.
Yes, 95. Can't wait.
The man behind the podcast, responsible for all the editing and for all the musical cuts.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's all for the fans, the massive, massive quantity of fans. That's who it's for. Yeah.
It pays off. Anyhow, 6/26, 1995. So we're kind of jumping right into summer here in our first show of 1995. Sam, you want to tell us a little bit more about the show?
Yeah, it's their second ever headlining show at SPAC, a venue at Saratoga Springs Performing Arts Center in New York, which, based on where I live, I can't believe I haven't gone to. I've never seen a show there. It seems like everyone I know has. It is a beautiful outdoor shed, but supposedly really, really nice. One of my friends brought his son to a show a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He seems to go to all the shows there. And now they've played over 20. Trey's played there. Mike's played there.
Yeah.
A very quintessential New England outdoor place. And just fucking summer 95. Like this is the only show from the tour, and we're going to talk a lot about this summer broadly as well as this show specifically. But this was my second and third shows were this tour in the summer, back to back at Great Woods, and this was when I got it.
Yeah,
this is a time when Phish changed my life finally, and so I have a lot of heart in this tour. I have a lot of real deep nostalgia starting to set in. I didn't know how it would feel with the podcast when this happened, but it definitely happened at this show, and I'm very, it's emotional for me. It was a really great listen. And I actually listened to most of it on the way down and back from New York on a bus visiting my brother, which was great.
Cool. That's cool. So. Absolutely. Yeah. Especially because the Saratoga Springs Performing Arts Center, is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Is like a really pretty venue. Like, you're right. It is like kind of quintessential East Coast, like tons of big green trees. You're like almost kind of like there's maybe a summer camp next door. I can't really tell exactly what's there, but that's, based on the pictures I've seen. And apparently the lawn is bad, right? Because there's it's hard to see in, is what I understand.
Well, it kind of flattens out, it looks like.
But a storied venue, to be sure. And they've played a lot of great stuff there. And this is one of them. I'd say from my perspective, I guess this is like a little bit of a dark horse show in terms of that I didn't hear about it until the official release. I don't remember us ever having tapes of this. So
I don't either.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool to come to it late. I wonder if I would have had a different. I'm not quite as into or had experienced 95 quite as emotionally as you, because you were there. So I'm listening to it all secondhand. And I'm glad. I appreciate listening to 95 as I know more about Phish. I think when I listened to it originally, it was a little bit harder to get into.
Yeah, we can discuss at length as we, at some point in here. But we tasked ourselves with picking some gems from the summer that aren't represented on this list of 100 shows.
Yeah.
This is the only show from the summer. And then we're all of a sudden at, Halloween 95 after this, which is, I feel, musically a long way off from 94 to Halloween 95.
Sure.
And this show is a cool signpost in the middle, and I'm excited to discuss some other summer 95 stuff as well, because not all of it is contained in this show. But I mean, as we wove through the show, and we'll go through the set list, I at some point, encore aside, this was pretty much my dream set list.
Oh, is that right?
On paper,
yeah.
Weaving through song by song, I don't know that I could have written a better hot summer. I was 18 years old, or about to be 18, and this was my wife's 18th birthday, and 3 days after this, I was 18. So it was a really special time in life. This summer was really important to me and really changed my life. It's when I moved to San Diego and eventually met you, and I'm very connected to it. And I think song by song, I felt a big emotional connection to the show, and it's kind of a dream set list in a lot of ways. And as we go through it, I'll I can highlight as to why. But yeah,
Is,
really amazing music.
Is one of the ways it's not a perfect set list the possum? Because is that something you would have chose, or do you just think it fits?
Next to the possum, I wrote "end to my dream set list" with a smiley face, because my general dislike of possum is out there, but I loved this one. I thought it was perfect. It was perfect. Like if I was there and it was summertime and they played this and Trey was doing what Trey does, it wasn't long, it wasn't over the top, it was just ripping and perfect. And the heartbreaker tease, it was great. Everything was great. And like you said about 95 Phish, it's a different Phish. It really is. And the transition from 94 to 97 is kind of, when we go through 95-6, we're really going to be in that transition period. And, they were supporting a live one, which came out just a few days after the show. But they also were playing all the Billy Breathe songs that had, come out at that Voters for Choice benefit a month before this. So it really was an interesting Phish, I think.
I guess what I would say is that the first set is all very clean and simple and very approachable. I think if I were listening to this in my first few years of Phish listening, I would probably prefer the first set. And I know that that's sacrilege, but I think it's because I think it just took me a while to figure out those big dissonant jams. It just took me a while to appreciate it. And granted, if I was there and I was on the drugs, I'm sure I would have loved it and thought it was incredible. But in terms of just listening to it in my living room while I was painting or something, maybe I hadn't yet graduated to 30-minute songs, maybe that doesn't come naturally to everybody. I always kind of gravitated towards the 10-minute to 15-minute song. But 30 is a whole another ballpark, Maybe that requires 2 bong hits. I hadn't figured that out yet. I don't know.
Well, it depends on footage. Are we talking like a foot? Or are we 3 or?
Is it gravity?
I'm going out on a limb in this vein and saying that I prefer the songs and the tunesmanship, let's say, of this show more than the jams.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which is going to be an interesting take.
Yeah.
I think some of the jams don't work.
Right.
I think there's some but song choice wise and the cleanliness of playing, the perfection, the little tweaks in beautiful sections that aren't exactly big improvised moments, but they're just, God, it's summer. It's hot and it's warm. And I guess it's right now in New England, it's spring.
Yeah.
And we've had some 70-degree days and I'm actually feeling what it's like to not be in the winter.
Yeah.
And it's going to frost tonight, but I feel very, I'm warming up, and this show was the perfect kind of thing for me.
Nice. All right, well, let's get into it. Starting off with the classic "My Friend, My Friend."
Yeah, and a just quick, cool version with very spooky, off-kilter outro, which I liked a lot.
I think like you were saying, it is drastically different than 94. I have to say it. It's only 6 months later, and you're like, damn.
My friend, he's got a knife. 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 My friend, he's got a knife.
And I wrote that I thought that the little, dissonant jam section in this, my friend, was akin to like a 95 free and early free. And that was their new style of jamming, and they're kind of like introducing that. Like, this is going to be our sound now when we jump off the diving board, so to speak.
The whole show, they were pushing different limits.
Yeah.
I agree. They were pushing in different ways and different avenues. I thought all the musicians were playing slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt like Trey was really he's moving towards those big washes of sound.
Yeah.
Rather than just the dexterous perfection.
Yes.
I thought Mike was really starting his step up, which would continue over a few years here and really become Mike as band leader at times.
Right.
I thought his step ups were starting to happen. I thought Page was again moving around to different keyboards at different random sections, and Fishman not quite. I think he was being more dynamic without as much flashiness, maybe. But yeah, they you can sense a difference in their playing. You can sense a difference in their intent. And I thought right off the bat, my friend was perfect for it.
Yeah. Cool little swirly loops at the end. And
yeah.
And I agree. Trey seems to be more he was like in 94 telling a story with individual notes. Now he's kind of like getting into these sort of like ambiance and the washes and the sort of like psychedelic layering. And a little more pedal work. So
it's loud at times, very loud, very distorted and aggressive and off kilter in a way that 94 touched on. But this was bold. I think I'd like to say the band was emboldened at this point.
Yeah,
they're starting to headline bigger venues. They have a rabid fan base. The internet's starting to happen. They're really becoming a thing. Mm-hmm. And they're putting out their first double live album that will go on to sell really well. It was a big time for the band. And they're working on what is arguably the best record they ever made in Billy Breathe. So it was a very cool time. Mm-hmm. Which brings directly from my friend into was it Only Summer 95 cover? And Don't You Want to Go?
Oh, is that a cover?
I don't know. Yeah, I believe it just to be in Summer 95. And really different, like some screamy guitar. It's like gospel blues. Can we say gospel blues?
Yeah, I would describe it as an upbeat, bluesy rocker, I guess. Yeah, it has gospel roots, kind of like parts of it. Certainly the vocals reminded me of Daniel a little bit, for that time, like an evolution of that. Had a cool bluesy solo from Trey. And kind of laughably, I thought, you know what? Like, this would fit in really well with the new soul era, Trey's soul era of the 3.0. Yeah.
Sure.
It definitely kind of reminds me of that. But it was kind of a nice change in 95. I thought it was kind of like unique and fun. Do people would they hate it? Kind of like My Soul? I don't know what people think of this.
I don't know. I always liked My Soul. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's gives a chance for the band to kind of play that style of music and be classy, and I don't know. There's something I really liked about it.
I like to just hear Page bang away on those ivories. Do it, Page. Play it, Leo.
And they're gonna play a song that we're probably never gonna hear again on this list of 100. Yeah, give it to me, please. I'd like the one. And then straight to Bathtub Gin, and this Bathtub Gin may be the good encapsulation of the show in some ways, where it's kind of atonal and rhythmically interesting, but kind of goes nowhere. But with the summer heat and psychedelics, and you're having a great time, it could be the best jam of your life. I don't know. But then there's a beautiful melody at some point. It was like 7.5 or so in that really captured me and got me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this show has a lot of that where you're like, if I put myself there, I'm enjoying it. If I put myself as a re-listener now, I don't know that I'm enjoying it. And then all of a sudden something grabs me and I go, oh, wow, this is great.
Sure.
I think that's a lot of the show. And I think the gin represents that for me.
You give some of my drama to my response, little pause. I loved it.
Okay, good. Good.
No, I really like early gins, and like this one, like 12/30/93, and I want to say 8/26/93. Is that true? They kind of like, in a way, they go nowhere, but at the same time, they kind of, Trey ends up finding a really kind of beautiful melody that he adds on to the end that is not type 2. It just is a natural progression off of the original.
So nice, though.
But they do it with such drunken elasticity. It's like precision drunken elasticity. I don't know the best way to put it, but it's like molasses, and it's moving you, and it's very physical. And really, when the band is synced in, it is a powerful musical feeling that I love, that, you know, that just doesn't happen in Bathtub Gins anymore. So yeah, love it. Great gin.
Stepping in the sludge without letting the sludge pull you down.
Right.
It was very, it was bold. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I thought at the beginning, like, and then it really got to me.
Yeah.
And into NICU. And this was where I kind of wrote, you know, my first, this set song selection, because I don't like to look at the set beforehand.
Sure.
I just jump in. Was very cool. You know, with My Friend is an interesting opener and really stylistic in its way. And then Don't You Want to Go is totally different. Bathtub Gin, totally different. And then NICU, also totally different.
Yeah.
And, you know, really well played and tight. And then to Sloth, like it was, these were kind of oddball song choices and not often played.
Right.
And I think, you know, as we go through the show, I think this first set is what sets this show apart to make it top 100 instead of a couple other shows from the summer. In that the song selection from this first set is just so unique and everything is so well played.
I think that's true. Yeah, I mean, I think I was going to say, you know, at the end of the show, but I think that this, not that it isn't great, but I think it made the 100 because of the set list. And that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of the shows made the 100 because of the set list. But yes, the NICU was great.
One deserves it. Yep.
And
the Sloth?
The Sloth was properly patient. Like I feel like when Sloth really works, like the dun 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 dun, like they were holding back, just like almost like they talked about learning from the Meters later in 97, that just like kind of holding back just like a half beat really makes a big difference. And I feel like that
don't rush.
That section of the song really worked for me in this performance.
Yeah, I agree. And then My Mind's Got a Mind of Its Own, which is just, again, a stylistic point of difference.
Always a
really
banger.
And switching over from Sloth to that was a really nice moment.
Yeah.
I thought. And Summertime. Like, there's something about being outside and bluegrassy summertime. The sun's still out at this point. Like, there's lights, but outdoor summer shows, you know, the lights don't really have that much of an impact. You're more looking around at people around you and everyone's dancing, and it's a vibe song. And I think it does a really great job.
For sure.
And then moving from that to It's Ice.
It's ice, and the sun is probably actually coming down right about now. It's starting to get
probably,
dusky.
And
it's dusky.
This was the ultimate classic under the water It's Ice too. It was really, I thought it was textbook, and the build out was masterful. Building from under the water up out of the water, just it caught me. It did what it was supposed to do.
I must have lost focus during this ice. I think this was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, it was good, but yeah, I wasn't blown away. I have to re-listen. Gonna have to re-listen. But
it just reminded me of the classic It's Ice.
Yes.
There were some 93 and 94 first sets, especially 94 that we've talked about, where the first set, it overshadows the second set almost because it's so great and they're taking so many risks. I think this set chooses not to. Mm-hmm. It chooses to showcase a lot of diversity in song structure and songwriting. And when they hit an It's Ice and they choose to improvise, they take a very calm, relaxed, smooth, we're going to pretend we're buried under the ice. We're going to dig our way out. And it's not going to go over the top, but it's going to be executed in this perfect fashion.
I guess that's true. In the same way that they played Sloth, just like patient, and they're really giving the songs the love they deserve.
Yeah, I felt a lot of that this set, and this was one of them.
And then how about this transition into Dog-Faced Boy?
We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
I love Dog-Faced Boy.
Yeah.
I love it as a song. I thought their harmonies were slamming for Phish. Really well sung. And there's so many lyrics in this song that Tom Marshall, I don't think we talk about him enough. I think we often can say Phish gets chastised for funny or silly lyrics. And Dog-Faced Boy is not the best name for a song. But this is such a well-written piece of music.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hang your hat on this. This is gorgeous stuff. I very much enjoyed it. And every time I hear it, I'm reminded of what a great lyricist he is and how him and Trey work so well together.
Yeah, if we haven't been vocal about it, I mean, I love Tom's lyrics. I think he's an amazing lyricist. Yeah, and I'm very grateful. I think the lyrics were one of the things that attracted me to Phish. I mean, I'm always a music guy, and music is what attracts me first. But I could certainly think of 100 Phish lyrics just come right to the tip of my tongue in terms of, being really special to me. I remember when Bowie was born, Ryan printed out and we're glad that you're alive, and he just printed it out and framed it for me, and I still have it up in the yard, and I just even Glide, which is such stupid lyrics, I guess, or just simple lyrics, but I love them. They're so visual that. I listen to those lyrics and I just between imagining their sliding dance that they do on stage and just ice skating and all the all the things that Glide conjures. I think Tom does a beautiful job of using adjectives and vocabulary in a way that's great for the imagination. And I think that's why it's so frustrating to a lot of people that want their lyrics to mean something. Their impressions.
Yeah, it's not literal all the time, and it's not tongue-in-cheek, I'm saying this thing and meaning this other thing, wink, wink, which I think a lot of pop lyrics are. I think it's really it's like the music, it's allowing the listener to interpret in the way that they choose to interpret. And Dog-Faced Boy is slightly more literal than a lot of Tom Marshall's lyrics, but done in that it blends the two so well.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of you, it only makes me feel sad. Whenever I think of you, the best friend I ever had, before I gave it all up for nothing. Well, I lied and I cheated, and it made me feel bad. Made me feel guilty for not being true. For the months I spent trying for a way to explain. In the end, all I could do was turn my head in shame. Whenever I think of you, oh darling, it makes me feel sad. 'Cause you deserve better, and once I was it. Somehow my good intentions just got up again.
And they don't play it a lot. I love hearing it every time. And then when it switches from that to Tila, that was the moment. I said, I think this is my set list. This is everything I would want to see now and then and all the way along.
Right.
Every single song. And it's rarities and odd choices and great lyrics and interesting songwriting all the way through. We've gotten so many good Tilas in this so far. 29 episodes in.
Yeah,
a handful of really great Tilas.
It is kind of funny how songs like Tila, which are, not very popular songs, or certainly are now, but we're getting a lot of them. They're like certain songs that seem to pop up in all these top 100 shows. My friend,
I didn't expect that.
But
my friend too.
The Tila, I love Tila. For me, this one just was missing a little je ne sais quoi. I don't know. There was something just
sure.
I mean, it was fine, but I wasn't.
Yeah, it was majestic summertime. It was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've heard some good ones.
I wasn't elated. But the possum, to close it all out, well done. It was a fairly classy possum, compared to some of the ones we heard in 1994, which were a little more on the obnoxious side.
This one was clean and snappy and classy.
Yeah,
classy is a good word for it.
Yeah.
It didn't bore me, and it was the right amount of time for a possum.
Right.
We didn't go too far. And that was set one. I thought, beautiful. I mean, set two is where we get the triple headphones from the book. Set two is where a lot of the meat lies. But
sure.
I'm gonna have some hot takes, I think, through set two.
Okay.
So I'm excited to dig into it with you. This was, as I was listening, I kept thinking, how is Ian gonna handle this, and how are we gonna? We like different things about Phish improv.
Right.
And these are, of this set, there's basically 4 pretty heavily improvised songs, and that's most of the set.
Right.
So how are we going to approach them, and who's going to like what? So I'm excited to discuss.
For me, there was like a very, not that I disliked any of it, but there's a very clear winner of those 4. I feel like one of those 4 is really masterful, and is the reason that this set is vaulted to its heights. But yeah, I can't wait to see if you agree with me on what it is. I
thought one was the top, and 2 was also close.
Yeah,
and the other 2 were I don't know. So the set opens with "Down with Disease." We'll go there.
Okay.
It's 24 minutes long.
Right.
I mean, it's not for you being a magic number, but
right.
It's 24 minutes long, and
right.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah,
Meh.
It takes about 8 minutes to move past the standard Down with Disease fare.
That's where I was. Yep.
And then at 12 minutes it starts to get a little like practice exercises. At least that's what I'm hearing. So like not the most exciting. And then it turns into something, and I kind of get transfixed for several minutes. I listened to it a few times, actually, because I just wanted to make sure I had my head wrapped around it. But what I was imagining was Trey, he's a spider, and he's like building a web. And and the band is just following him, at this point, and he's just kind of like going round and round, and he's building and building and building to the point where like there would be parts that I didn't like, and I'm like, I don't like this. And then he would play something, and it'd be like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're like building something. So I appreciated that aspect of it, but on an aesthetic level, yeah, I didn't find it like terribly pleasing.
It was a lot of work for the listener. And, 20 minutes or so in of 24 minutes, there were some moments where I said, oh, this is really cool.
Right.
but it wasn't like recently we discussed some really big jams, that giant funky bitch that we discussed,
Sure.
and where there was a dozen sections that
Yeah.
you know I'd write home about that were really beautiful and really well played.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a lot of that in this. I thought I'd be at the show, Down with Disease would start, I'd be excited, it would get into the jam, there'd be a certain point where I was like, all right, what's next?
Right.
And it kind of had that like big swirling atonality.
Yeah.
I liked it. I felt like if I was at the show, this song would have blown by me and then I would have been thinking about the next thing.
Sure.
It didn't really grab me.
Right.
And the next thing was Free, and I thought the transition really was nice.
Yeah.
It got pretty rockin', and I thought it like built nicely and moved into Free in a really smart way.
Right.
And Free is one of those songs, both of these songs, but I think they're really trying to showcase these with their new sound and their new music. And
For sure.
this set has a lot of that. And I thought that this front part of the set was trying to say, this is Phish now. This is what we do.
Yep.
We're going to do these giant, sweeping, artistic, atonal jams,
Right.
which was bold, I think,
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Bold for anybody.
I thought
It's bold
this-
music still to this day.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And this Free succeeds better than the Down with Disease, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, the Free is the winner of the set. I just think it's not perfect, but it is really
It's wild.
interesting, and it covers a
Yes.
lot of ground in 17 minutes, like way more
Yeah.
ground than the Down with Disease, to the
Agreed.
point where it's really funny and that it's shorter, but it feels the Down with Disease feels longer in the sense that you're just kind of like, all right, well, is something going to happen? But the Free is like
Yeah.
you're going on a whole magical carpet ride, and by the time you get back, you're like, whoa.
And
but
there's
yeah.
just these key shifts and chord changes that make no sense in this beautiful way. It's just swirling and like I think if you were in a altered state of mind, the Down with Disease would have had you looking around and
Yeah.
feeling like, okay, I don't know.
Sure.
But at certain point in this Free, you would have just been melting
Right.
because it grabbed you differently.
Yes.
The Down with Disease didn't grab me. This grabbed me. And it wasn't always great grabbing. It was sometimes unwanted touching, but it was grabby. It was very grabby.
Right.
And I really did enjoy it. I thought musically it was bold and aggressive and wrong. And you're at a venue you've only headlined once, and you
Right.
come up and you throw out this kind of music. It is so ballsy and so I don't know. Phish at this time was just. I mean, they're confident now in a different way, but at this time the Grateful Dead was on summer tour.
Right.
They were out there with I'm sure, Dave Matthews, and they were out there competing for the slot.
Right.
And they were unabashedly playing Phish music.
Right.
And this Free really showed that. I loved it.
Confidence indeed. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think like by 6 minutes you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great version. And I like that in songs like that, where kind of early on, there's just something about it that you're like, oh, there's like something crackling here. And honestly, how many Frees like break down to nothing? I mean, like by 7 minutes or so, it like flattens out to like, it's just nothing.
Yeah.
And then they're just starting from scratch. And you're like, damn.
And Fishman really pushes it. Like to hear a drummer just break a band down like that. And I thought that this jam showed a lot of Fishman. I thought it really allowed him to guide the rhythms in a way where the rest of the band was swirling.
Yeah.
And it really let him kind of rhythmically pull and push and lose the one in a lot of cool ways and create a non-linear jam, which is hard to do.
Right.
You know, as a listener, as a dancer, you want to hear ones, you want to be in a rhythmic pattern, and he was breaking out of that in very cool ways. It was complicated. I liked it.
Yeah, I used to say when I first started listening to the Grateful Dead, and I didn't know, not a musician, so I didn't know exactly how to say it. But I remember listening to Without a Net and just saying to my buddy, like, it's like they're all playing like something totally different, but just layered on top of one another. It works. Like it totally just like, it's like chaos that somehow melds together into this beauty. But Phish is like kind of very different in a way that it's very chaotic, but it's all so controlled and so purposeful. And when Fishman plays wrong like that, or again, for lack of a better term, it's just like he's playing off to keep you off kilter and to make you feel funny. It's just incredible. And no one does that like him. I love it. I mean, I may be a little in Zappa in some of the drummers, but because I'm so familiar with Phish's music and I'm so familiar with what it's supposed to be, I'm so sensitive to, even when he does it, one or two times, that like, I really feel it. And sometimes if I'm spacing out too much, it kind of like brings you back into the music. Like it can do a lot of things. Kudos, Fishman. Sure. Love you.
Yeah. Yeah. He was the superstar of that song for me.
Oh, I was just going to say at 11 minutes, he really locks in with Trey for some super dope badassery. Don't want to miss that.
Yeah, there's some real rock and energy at that point.
Yeah.
I thought that the Down with Disease had a moment that did that too, but not like this.
Right.
This was great. And they really kind of melodically get together, rhythmically get together, and then it breaks down again. And then there's a very... it's not an arrow. It's just a messy transition into Poor Heart.
Right.
And I don't... This is a weird Poor Heart, because I always say a good Poor Heart equals a good show. Trey plays a non-solo. It's like an anti-solo. But then I think Page jumps in and just fucking rips.
Yeah.
Handles business. It was a weird juxtaposition. I thought it spoke to where Trey was at in this set. Where I think he wasn't striving for watch me show off. He was really... and it speaks to this period of 95-6 as we transition into 97, where Trey's trying to figure out what to do.
Right.
Because he was this aggressive soloing band leader. I'm the leader of this band. People are going to look at me. I'm going to carry us. And he's suddenly realizing the musicians around him are not only good, they're great. And that the band as a whole has achieved what he dreamed of.
Right.
And now his role might have to change.
Well said.
And I think moments like his non-solo in this Poor Heart really speak volumes to me. When I hear him do that, I go, kudos.
Right.
I tip my hat. Because I, as a listener, want to hear him just shred a ripping solo. But I also love that he hands the spotlight to everyone else.
Yeah.
And it shows what's going to make Phish, the next steps that Phish goes through. These are the little glimmers of what's going to happen.
Right.
And then I think, for me, he tosses that out the window for the highlight of the whole set for me, which is the You Enjoy Myself, which comes next. Which... after this one, went and listened to a handful of Summer 95 You Enjoy Myself.
I listened to most of them, in fact.
Is this my favorite? Is this my favorite period for this song? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's a
They're
great
all so
period
fucking good.
This one wasn't my favorite of the summer. But
it's
so
good.
Oh, it's amazing. And actually all of them for 95. There was not a stinker in the bunch.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, every vocal jam was great.
Right.
Every
bass
build
solo
was great.
So some of Mike's most creative bass solo playing in 1995. Yeah.
This one was so long.
Yeah.
And got really out there, and there was a big distorted part. And yeah, I highlighted the set for me was the end.
Yeah.
So I like that we differ in that. But this was... It made me so happy and just reminded me of what this band was like at this point. And How they will play this new material with Down with Disease and Free, but when they go back to play their old songs, they put the new skin of Phish onto it. Like, this is us now.
Right.
And how they continue to do that over their career. And this song really does that for their whole career.
Well, I think it's fair to say that 95 may not have the most Yems, but it's certainly it's the best Yem year. I mean, I just think between, I don't know, New Year's 95 and just 12/9/95. I mean, those two versions they're so beyond spectacular. And so I think this Yem is incredible. But if I'm putting it up against New Year's 95, I'm like, but compared to other years, they're fucking smoking hot.
Sure.
And every section is incredible and perfectly played and high energy. Even the vocal jam, just had me laughing out loud. It was really energetic.
The vocal jam was so great.
Yeah.
You have to listen to the vocal jam. Like, it was one of those where you're like, you have to. It's part of it.
Yeah.
And yes, like, Yem later, like the Cow Palace Yem in 96, and then like the Shoreline Yem in 97, it changed and it got me in different ways, and it was more of a dance party, and Mike always played that Groove Is in the Heartline, and it became a big groovy dance party. This was the perfect blend of groove, rock. Every band member got their own, Page's solo was beautiful.
Yeah.
Trey took the middle section. Mike got his outro with Fishman, and I thought their interplay was so great. And the vocal jam was great. This was Phish. This was so well done.
Yeah, I think that there's a setup to Yem that is different than all the other songs because, even in like Bowie and Hood or Slade, whatever it is, there's a natural build to it. But in the Yem, they kind of just do the boy band god shit and then just like, boom, okay, we're free. It's like almost like a rodeo or something where they're kind of like letting the bull out and then all of a sudden it's go time.
Yeah.
And so I think that especially back then when they were so eager to impress the audience and show people what they can do, it just has a different feel than it did later when it was more of a nostalgia sort of, like you said, let's put the 97 skin or the 98 or 99 skin on the Yem. At this point, this was still like, this is where we're going to show you what Phish is, motherfuckers. So it was still riding that high.
Yeah, the composition was tight as could be, and just everything was great. I liked every moment of this, and it made me smile top to bottom.
For sure.
Like, I don't know what that's what I want out of the band. There's times I want to be challenged, and there's times I just I listened to it 3 times because it was so good that first time. I'm like, driving down the road by myself. I'm like, I'm just going to put that on because it was so great. And it was great again every time.
Nice.
So it built a new, like you said, this wasn't a go-to show for me, but it's building go-to moments now that I'll go back to a lot. And I thought post-vocal jam going to Strange Design, which is kind of like the anti-Billy Breathe song where it should have been on that album. I'd like to hear the story as to why it was left off because lyrically beautiful, and I've always been a big fan of that song, and I think it's very 95 Phish. Like, it speaks to what they were. Really nice ballad placement too. This show's perfect, the set list wise.
Yeah, and then to cap it with the Antelope is kind of like it is a dreamy set list situation.
Yeah. And this Antelope was my second favorite song of the set.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't long. It wasn't incredibly over the top, but it was just fire. Like, I wrote sustained note at 6 minutes. Wow. Just with an exclamation point. because, and then Fishman lets out this like woohoo right after it.
Right.
It was one of those antelopes where they nail the compose section, they get into the jam, and it is just to the moon. And to cap a set that way, a set that had, Down with Disease was weird and out there, Free was atonal and out there, Poor Heart was kind of a quick, sidebar, and You Enjoy Myself is what it is, where it's a lot of different songs. Then they hit a ballad, and then Antelope is just this massive closer. I would have gotten to the end of Antelope and they walked off stage and thought it was 20 minutes.
Right.
As a listener, I would have felt like the set just blew by. And, just listening to it from now, so many years later, it felt like it just blew by. It was really cool. It wasn't a long Antelope, but I listened to it twice. Again, I went back because I enjoyed it so much. It's something you'd play for someone and just say, this band's awesome. Here, listen to this. I liked it a lot.
Okay. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it. It seemed like a standard great 95 Antelope.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just happy that it hit you like that.
It just fits so nicely in the set.
I did listen to it a couple of times, but Sam and I's project this episode was to do highlights of summer 95. And so I think I got spoiled and that there was a couple other Antelopes that were peers.
Yes, there were.
So that it didn't stand out necessarily in my head. So it was kind of like, well, yeah, it was a perfect summer 95 Antelope, but you're right about everything you said. And to cap the set, I can't think of anything better.
I was a good boy and I listened to this on its own first.
Good.
Before venturing out.
Good. That was smart.
And briefly on the encore, which, like I said, my dream set list except for the encore, which is Sleeping Monkey, Rocky Top.
Yeah.
I would like to go on record saying I think this is the most perfect Trey solo ever in Sleeping Monkey.
It was great.
It is goddamn note perfect. It got me.
Yeah.
I'm like, why play it? You should have walked away from this song at this point and said, all right, we're done. We're done. We're never going to play this again.
Yeah, it was. I loved the encore. Again, yeah, they were just so tight as a band at this point that these
and
songs
probably
were
as
such
friends
a joy to
and
hear.
humans and you felt it. You felt it felt special.
Mm-hmm.
They were still working for something.
Yeah,
they weren't. There were no laurels to sit back on. They were getting after it, and
but they were at that
on a
point
show
where they've learned the notes and then they've forgotten them, and then now they're at this sort of ninja virtuoso level where they're just kind of using their skills and their personality, and it's just flowing like a something good.
Call any song. We'll nail it. Call a song. I will destroy it. It's that kind of attitude. Yeah.
Well, let's discuss some of our favorite highlights from the summer. I want to
go listen to this show, everybody. Before highlights, just this show was great. Listen to it. It's fun.
It's great.
Put it, dig it apart take it apart with little details. Listen to it in the background. Summer 95. Huge fan, and this show was I'll argue as we get into our favorites that one show may have surpassed it, but this was another one was close, but this was a really good show to put on this list. I like it.
Do you want to tell me what that show was?
Let's get into our favorites, and it'll come up pretty quick. So Summer 95, as we discussed earlier, Summer 95 this is it. This is the only show. So Ian and I dug into a lot of the summer. So let's talk.
Well, I have my choices, and we didn't discuss specifically whether we were just going single song or like what we were doing exactly. But I have like a couple of twofer situations. But something that I did want to discuss was this show at the Lakewood Amphitheater on 6/15/95.
Yes.
And the 6/16/95 gets a lot of heat because it was on the Left Nuts release, has a 30-minute Runaway Jim into free. So a similar kind of deal of what we listened to in 6/26. Then it's got this You Enjoy Myself with Boyd Tinsley. I listened to both shows. They're both great. But for me personally, I got to say the 6/15 had some sections that just killed me. I thought the AC/DC bag in the first set was amazing. And then this Stash, I didn't know, Fluffhead Run Like an Antelope finish to the first set. It's like, what the fuck, man? I was just like listening to it and I was thinking, if I was at the show, I would probably just leave when the Antelope ended. Because I'd be like, what's coming after that? That's like...
Then you'd miss the Bowie.
Yeah, exactly.
And that Bowie is...
Yeah.
Like this isn't on my list, but I listened to a bunch of this show, and there's a couple live baits, the Stash and the Bowie you can find on live baits, so you can listen to really good copies of. Yeah, phenomenal show. Yeah, amazing.
So I just wanted to mention
that Bowie. We just listened to so many David Bowies, but this one felt fresh and different and interesting, and was not the same as the other ones.
Right. I think when I had a funny thing that I wrote about this Bowie when I listened to it for our Bowie project, and I had just watched the movies Tar and the movie Nope, and I said, it's really out there.
Nope is so great.
I said, it's really out there, but it's more Tar than Nope. So I'm not exactly sure what I meant by that description. But I guess that's what was in my head when I listened to it the first time. But anyway, yeah, great. So Sam, start me off with what's on your list.
Well, the first two are... So 95 Summer was, like we said, how You Enjoy Myself were really good that summer. Yeah. It was the summer of Tweezer as well.
Sure.
It really was. So number one for me is the Mud Island Tweezer from 6/14/95, which is the longest Tweezer that's ever been played.
Yeah.
This venue is small. I did a little interesting research into Mud Island. It's in Tennessee. It's kind of like out in a bayou or a swamp in some way. Oh. It's 5,000 or so people. It's really small. And it goes through this Tweezer jam, and at about 20 minutes in, it kind of comes back into Tweezer, and you go, oh, this is just a regular Tweezer. And then there's a fucking half hour after that.
Yeah, there is.
Of this beautiful, like deep, like improv on a level that you normally don't hear.
Right.
And I thought like 24 to 29 minutes was just like, I don't know how to describe it. It was some of the deepest improvisation. I'd say like 24 minutes through a lot of the end was some of the deepest I'd ever heard Phish play.
Yeah.
aside from like God, that the late night set at the Lemon Wheel or something like that, where it was meant to be improvised and quiet. I couldn't believe they were playing this at a concert. It was
that's wild.
heavy stuff. So, and it's also officially released and you can go find it. And there's some good parts of the Mud Island show that were worth recapping.
Right.
But this tweezer is an absolute must listen. And that it goes into Acoustic Army, I thought was really cool too.
I really
almost
like
as
Acoustic
an extension
Army.
of the tweezer.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And so for me, number one, go listen to the Mud Island tweezer. I think it's a necessary summer 95. I don't think Mud Island should be on the top 100, but I feel like if we were making a list of must listen to songs,
Sure.
Especially from the summer, this is one, if not from all time.
I agree. I didn't listen to it this time around, and I think we should all thank Sam. Give him a round of applause for the 50 minutes that he donated.
It was I was rewarded. It was good.
I figured, I was like, everybody's listened to the big tweezers, but this is the summer of the tweezer, so I also wanted to choose a tweezer that was a little under the radar. And surprisingly, I landed on 6/17/95. And it's a sandwich. It's got a Johnny B. Good sandwich, which is something that I would look at on a set list and be like, not interested. But I decided to do it nevertheless, and was really moved. I mean, I thought, especially the 10 minutes that came after the Johnny B. Good, it was all amazing, even the Johnny B. Good. But the last 10 minutes was, just incredible. I'm always amazed at what the band can achieve in like such little time sometimes, where it doesn't take them long to really find a little nook and cranny in the universe that we've never quite seen before.
Yeah.
Some great
the takeoff.
Matt Bowie. Yeah. Or in that
once
Bowie.
They all kind of grab onto a thing and just
right.
Yep.
And really locked in. So yeah, 6/17/95, Tweezer, Johnny
and
B.
the
Good.
Stash and the Hood from that show are both also renowned, and I very, very much like that Hood. That Hood was amazing. 6/17 also like a contender. This summer was really great. I get why they only put one on the top 100, but there were some moments. Yeah. So number 2 for me is the show that I'm not sure why it is not on the list.
Yeah.
Which is the Fleazer, which I think a lot of people talk about as like, why is this not the show on the list? But it's 6/22/95.
Yeah.
The second set is basically Theme from the Bottom, Tweezer Reprise. That's an entire set of music. And they call something like it's a something jam. It's a this thing. It is a fucking, let's say Tweezer Reprise is Tweezer. It's a 2-song set.
Yeah.
And the Theme from the Bottom's great. I thought the jam was great. I understand why it exists as it does. But this Tweezer was like the previous Tweezer, but totally different. It was long and improvised, and I thought the way that it worked, it was rock. Like at the beginning, it was super loud and super rock and super aggressive. Then it breaks. This one was just more rock a lot of the way through. There were some quiet parts and builds back, but it was so aggressively just rock and roll for like a half an hour. And I can't imagine keeping that kind of intensity up. And when it does dip down and it breaks down into total sludge and quiet, there's this point like 35 minutes in where Paige builds out that really got me. And the way it builds from that into Tweezer Reprise made it feel like the Tweezer Reprise was part of Tweezer.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt like a 2-song set. I was disgusted that the balls on this band to do that. Like just the goddamn, like the tenacity and the balls and the confidence and like they walked off stage this night just being like proud of each other and hugging and loving like what they just achieved. And when I re-listened, I felt it. I felt that way through the whole thing.
Right.
And if I was to pick a night to replace this show on the list, which I won't, I don't know. But this show, we have a bunch of fall 94 shows that are on this list. Yeah. There's a chance this Fleaser show is going to replace it. I don't know. We'll see. I thought it was great.
Did you listen to the first set?
No, and on paper it looked kind of eh.
Yeah, it does.
So I really think that's what nudged this one out.
Yeah.
You know? But set 2 may have been better than set 2 of
just for our
the
listeners,
show we're talking about.
Sample, Scent, Ha Ha Ha, Divided Sky, Gula, Ice, Strange Design, Maze, Cavern, Sweet Adeline. Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a great set.
It sounds great, but kind of uneventful.
I know.
That's all, yeah.
Yes. I mean, if that Divided Sky was... either way, I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was great. But yeah, I set 2. Just listen to it. It's a necessary.
It's not the kind of thing that I would jump to listen to all the time. But
no.
But I avoided the big ones on purpose for some reason. I don't know. I'll put it on my list. And everybody else, you do it too. Get back to Sam. Let him know what you think.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you and I never did, or us as a group at the Saxton Street, never did a psychedelic experience with this Fleaser show. Because
we just didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the 11/28/94 was the kind of big one that we did because that was like 40 minutes. That was
Saxon Street 2.0 next year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just throwing that out there. I'm sure we could find a house for rent on that street or for sale that we can't afford, and we'll just make it happen.
That neighborhood is quite different, but still great. I'd love to live there. My friend Adam, shout out, lives not far from there. All right. Well, my second. You got 2 tweezers in a row. You're proving your tweezer fandom.
I was going to do all 3 tweezers, and I stopped myself.
You're legit. Okay, so I'm going all the way back to the very beginning. Not even a part of the summer tour, but to the Gloria Steinem benefit on 5/16. And I just love this goddamn show. I love it all the way through.
Yeah.
I love Spock's Brain. Glide goddamn 2. Get some. Amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Flip.
I mean,
flip.
There are so many good songs from that show.
Yeah. But what I'm choosing
So many.
from that show is the Reba theme. I think the Reba is one of the all-time greats. Gets like super weird, which I love. Gets really out there, but just incredibly played. Everything's so tight. And then this theme, I don't even know if this is the first theme played or not, but I honestly think it's one of the best performances of the song of all time.
Yeah,
in terms of what I look for in a theme, or like when it's funny, I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when I heard Billy Breathes for the first time. I went to the Tower Records in Sports Arena, and I had never heard a live theme at this point when I got it. So I was listening to the album, and that was the one song that I thought, oh, I want to see this live. I bet this is amazing live. And it turns out that they didn't stretch it out that much, when I eventually did see it in 97. But this theme was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was imagining as I was driving by City College listening to that studio version of theme. And I just love it. Two songs together, just magic. And I also have this nostalgic type memory too, that after my first art festival that I showed my work at, it was like one of those summer outdoor art festivals in Colorado in the mountains. It was in Glenwood Springs at the Strawberry Festival, and I went with my wife and we showed my stuff, for the 2 days, and we're out there all day. It was a crazy experience. Even I have a memory that this one little girl came and bought this drawing from me to give to her dad who was in prison. And she's like, I'm going to give this to my dad in prison. He's allowed to hang things on his wall. So I'm going to buy this for him. And I thought to myself, this is really surreal that I've got artwork going into prison. Wow. And at the same time, I thought, man, I hope he doesn't hate this. I hope he likes this drawing. Anyhow, so we're driving back from Glenwood Springs feeling very, proud of myself for doing this festival and for having made it through it. And we're all exhausted. And Susie's like, you know what? You did so great this weekend. Put on some Phish for me. And this was still in the sort of beginning years for her of, learning to appreciate. And she got, she took several puffs. She got in the right state of mind. And we listened to this Reba theme, and she was just floored. And I remember when the theme was over, her making a comment like, wow, I get it. So always have that.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe your Colorado art fests are art sales, art fests are about love, because I bought my wife our engagement ring in one of them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they go back.
Nice.
She still,
that's
for better or worse, some days, because that ring is the bane of her existence. Sometimes she still has it on her finger. Yeah, I had a great time that weekend. I'm glad you guys have that. And I can't remember when I don't know if I still live there, but when I heard good copies of this show, of that show. And it all the way through is great. I love the energy. I love the attitude. And I like when Phish is shy, when they're like, we have all these new songs and we're just going to put them out there. And they've done it on many occasions. I thought that Halloween when they played Fuego was, I'm not a big 3.0 guy, but fuck, that was one of the best 3.0 shows. I remember watching it live when it happened, and it blew my mind. It was really great. So I think when they have something to prove and they're putting out new material and they've been working on it,
Yeah.
and they're such a good band at this time, so tight, so precise, so sympathetic to each other, that show is a must listen. I agree.
Yep.
Also,
Just
could have made the list if
I was gonna
it
circle
was
back
on
to
here.
the-
It would have made sense.
Tell me more about the wedding ring situation. You just kind of piqued my interest because we had to get a second wedding ring because the first one that I got Susie was too arty and it was always like denting and hurting her finger.
Oh, we're gonna get into this.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I flew out to meet you, and we were.
I remember it was in Vail. Yeah.
We were in Vail in the summer. Vail
Right.
in the summer is really fucking cool. We stayed in a cool place.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. And it was you and me and our friend Ryan. And I knew I'd recently gone to Montreal with my now wife. And on the way back, she seemed really upset with me. And we had such a nice time. I was like, why is she upset? And she just said, like, well, I expected you to propose to me there and didn't. And that was the first moment I went, oh, I guess I have to. This is what I have to do.
Right.
I was at this point thinking I was still going to be a professional musician, and I was cooking, and I was lost in my life was, I didn't have any focus. So it made a lot of sense that she came to me and said, this is, get it together. This is what we have to do. And I wanted to, I realized when I came out to visit you, we went to Vail, and it was a town full of jewelers everywhere. There were jewelry shops. It was, God, that town. That little river running through it, and it just was beautiful. That was such a good time. I love you guys.
Yeah.
And we found that shop, and I fell in love with the ring, and I had taken one of her rings, and I had kind of sized it on my hand what I thought would fit. And I found this ring that was perfect. It was mother of pearl with these tiny little diamonds, and it was wide, and it was her style, and it was perfect, and I got it. And, our long story about when I proposed was here in Maine was really nice. And I gave it to her, and she loves it. But it turns out mother of pearl swells and shrinks based on temperature. So she has lost little pieces of it a few times. And it currently is loose. It doesn't have a piece in it.
Yeah.
So my plan to her last year was for her to purchase a new, and she has a wedding ring on top of her engagement.
Right.
But it was just to buy a new ring for herself and say, this is our marriage ring.
Right.
And there's a jeweler that she's fallen in love with here in Portland, and we're working on it.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Yeah. She's going to make a new ring, and she's going to have the new ring, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It has not happened yet. But this love of my life has spent so a lot of years now, putting up with a subpar ring because of, I don't know.
How could you have known
Where
that?
are you at?
Well,
where are you at?
I appreciate you sharing that, and I'm sorry to bring it up on you, but it was a point of contention for us too, where we had to kind of be like, all right, we got to save up for another wedding ring.
Yeah,
I can't go through my life uncomfortable, and I can't be out in the world looking hot, and having guys come up to me without a wedding ring. So there's a certain protection.
She takes it off when she showers and washes dishes and does all this stuff, and mine hasn't come off my finger since the day we were married. And I physically can't now. Like my fingers are so swollen, it will not, you got to cut it off me.
Yeah, you grow into it.
And I feel like she's looking for that. So we're gonna rectify. That's our plan.
All right, Sam.
Rectification.
What's your number 3? Back on track.
Yeah, I'm going from storytelling to storytelling, but I'm also I'm parched moment. So number 3 for me is very nostalgic. And I attempted to choose one song, and I wasn't able to. So story-wise, in 94, I saw my first Phish show at Great Woods. And in 95, it was the week of my birthday. It was the week after I'd graduated high school and just seen the Grateful Dead. And I saw 6:30 and 7/1 94 at Great Woods. And it was life-changing. 6:30 was very fun, but 7/1 94 was the night that changed my life.
7/1 95
made me. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, 95.
Yeah.
And made me a Phish fan properly. And I feel I figured I was like, I'll just jump in and re-listen to some of the songs. there's soundboards, but they're really like FM release soundboards, kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And I ended up listening to the majority of the show. And there's Maze, Hood, and If I Could are all headphones from the show.
Yep.
But there are 7 songs that make the jam charts. It's rated super high. There are so many great moments throughout the whole thing. And it was, I saw 2 shows in a row, so I felt like instantly I was a Phish head and I knew everything that I needed to know.
Yeah.
I knew the parking lots. I was so cool all of a sudden. I had just graduated high school. It was just a moment in my life that changed me forever. And in re-listening, as we were going through, I was picking these big tweezers and listening to all these giant jams that were kind of underrated moments of the summer. And when I started listening to that show, it reminded me of where I was and what life was like. And it was very nostalgic.
It's an amazing show.
I don't think it should be on the list of 100. No. But as far as summer 95, I think it was one of the better shows.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of 7/16/94 in that it's just kind of perfect. And it's an amazing set list. And it's just like classic Phish would be like an incredible first show kind of deal. And I did listen to some of this show. I listened to the Harry Hood. I listened to the Split and the If I Could. And the Harry Hood, there was all great. The Harry Hood was amazing.
Dude, that build in Hood is like, does it get better?
No, not necessarily.
The build is it builds and builds and builds, but it hits the actual peak in a way that like you want every Harry Hood to do.
Yeah.
Like the final peak is just so massive. And when I'm listening back to it now, I felt like I was still a part of it.
Right.
I guess as we move into this period where you and I have seen some of these shows and we were there and we were emotionally invested in the show in real time, I think we're going to feel parts of them. We're going to feel like we were part of the reason why this was what it was.
Right.
And our energies and our emotions were built into the night itself and into history. And for me, this was a stark realization that, oh, this is what this stretch of the podcast is going to be, because this was that for me.
Right.
I remember this Harry Hood, and I remember being there, and I remembered everything I saw. And I mean, this was a lot of years ago, but it still felt like yesterday. It felt like my soul was there, and I was a piece of this. And the reason why that built and peaked so well was because, you know, my eyes were closed and I was in it.
Right.
And it was magical. So the tweezers were great. Listen to them, but you know, teleport back to 95 and see some Phish shows, I guess, is my final thing to say.
Good call. My kids are all about teleporting every time I ask them to walk somewhere.
My kids are all about homeschooling every time I tell them to go to school, so I know.
Well, I wish I would
just stay home, Dad.
I wish I would have let you finish on that, because that was such a beautiful ending. But I do have one more, and I'm just going to bring up a little Sugar Bush action, and I'm going to say the Runaway Jim Makasupa from the second.
Yes.
I know the second night, the third, is generally considered to be maybe a little bit of a better show, but I really like this Jim Makasupa for two reasons, because the gym is so weird, and it's long and just like dark and just grinding, and just great 95 Phish where you're just kind of overwhelmed. And then it segues into this Makasupa, which is kind of silly, but it is just so stunningly beautiful. I urge anyone to just like sit back, close your eyes, crank your stereo, listen to this Makasupa. Sure, it's silly in the beginning, but by the time they start getting into the jam, you're going to be one happy camper floating on cloud nine. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I think people wanted one of these Sugar Bush shows to achieve that greatness.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they did, but I re-listened to this too, and I thought it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
and I listened
great.
to the Bowie the following night too, and it was also amazing.
Oh yeah. I think from 94, when that Sugar Bush show was so great, they figured, let's go back and let's put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was also good. I feel bad for Phish in some ways, and that they grew out of some things. Like, I'm really disappointed that they had to, not play Sugar Bush every single summer for all time, or they, like we were there in 96 and they got booted out of Red Rocks. They just kind of outgrew some things.
Right.
And it's disappointing, and it's nice to have a thing before it gets too big.
Right.
And I think this is that period of Phish where I was just starting, but I bet there were a lot of people, and I'm sure, hundreds and thousands of them listen to this podcast, but I'm sure there were a lot of people who had a Phish that this was when they were dying. This was when Phish was getting too big. Yeah. And I'm sure there were those people all the way along where Phish was they were getting too big. We couldn't see this again, or they couldn't do that again. And for me, this was that moment. This was like, oh, this is perfect Phish. and they were just starting to grow out of some of these places. Not great woods.
Magic doesn't last forever. That's why we feel grateful to have caught the lightning in the bottle when we did.
Yeah.
I did want to mention, just to get back to 7-1 real quick, on the most recent live bait, Kevin Shapiro, thank you again. You threw on the Harry Hood from 7-1-94, which I was surprised to see, because I have mentioned on this show once before that I listened to 7-1-94 in its entirety one time, and it was the only time that I finished a Phish show and was angry and felt disappointed and that it wasn't good. But when I re-listened to this Harry Hood on your soundboard, I was floored. And I realized, like I've realized time and time again, that mood can really stomp out a good jam. So thank you for bringing that Hood back in my life, Kevin. I love it.
Mood and sound quality.
Mood and sound quality. You're right.
Thank you.
Sound quality.
Let's put them all out. Let's just get them all out there. Put them all out. There's people that want to buy them. I don't know what, it's like Flight of the Conchords. I don't know what your overhead is here, but I'm like, we're gonna buy them. If you put them out there, we're gonna buy them. So what are you talking about? What do you need financially to let's make this happen? Do you need an army of people to listen to shows and help you out? Because we're doing that. We're making it happen.
It's not. I know it's not Kevin. You know it's Paige. Paige is sitting in the corner of his living room, being like, "Close the vaults."
Yeah, I don't know who's doing it. So our next episode will be 30. I can't believe we're 30 episodes into this. I'm very excited. We're going to be at Halloween 95, and we're going to jump into, I believe from there, right into what is considered one of the best runs of Phish ever in the end of fall 95 through December, and hit New Year's 95. We're going to have some guests on for New Year's 95. I know of at least 2 people that are going to sit in, if not more.
Yeah.
And we're really starting to reach that Phish shows that we were a part of, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this stretch. I recommend everyone listen to this show. It's back. And just, I guess, listen to a lot of Summer 95. Did you listen to anything bad? I mean, everything was good.
Anything bad?
I was shocked.
No, I didn't listen to anything bad. Yeah.
Everything was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything to recommend, Sam?
I'm going to take a totally... Oh, please. Go.
I was going to say, I'm going to be coming in hard with the recommendations probably next time, because I caught onto a lovely Twitter thread where people were naming 4 albums that they thought were unsung. And so I have 40 new albums on my Spotify that I'm slowly working through. One that I did listen to the other day was Eddie Harris, Excursions. And I didn't get all the way through because it is like a 2-hour album. Oh, well, it's an hour and 20 minutes. Still, it's a long album.
I like Eddie Harris. That's good.
But yeah, this number 3, 4, 5, Inapplicable Concord, Listen, Here Goes Funky, and Turbulence. That was 30 minutes of just, whoo, get into it.
Huh.
Just do it. And then some old friends of mine from college recommended the first Grimes album, or the album Visions, which I have never listened to. So I went back and listened to it. Big fan.
Huh.
So I really like
I just had someone tell me I should listen to Grimes, and I listened to some songs, and they weren't bad.
Yeah, I would go with Visions, because that was the beginning.
Visions.
Got some hits on there.
Cool.
So I'll leave it at that, and then we can celebrate that. I don't know if we mentioned it last time, but the De La Soul catalog is finally available for streaming. God. So let's
it has been great. 3 Feet High and Rising was so special for me, and Balloon Mind State I remember loving so much. And I remember De La Soul is Dead, but that's the one that's gotten over, really under my skin again.
De La Soul is Dead.
De La Soul is Dead,
yeah.
Top to bottom, so good. I love the interludes. I love all the little breaks. I love... It works so well as a giant piece of music.
Yeah.
And, I would say if you picked, 92 or so? If you really dug into that year of hip hop, there was probably a lot of things that are somewhat problematic based on modern times. De La Soul misses almost all that. They're still so great. It was just, God, it's good music.
Well, let's see. I just did see Goose again for the second time. Should I address this? Is this too controversial?
Not for me.
Let me just put it this
know.
way. It was better than the last time. The sound was much better. But I'm still not totally sold on Goose.
Good.
And I saw it.
I've never gone, never really even listened. I'm just not.
This show was so fishy, though. It was just like, oh, look, there's Wolfman's brother. Oh, there's Ghost. There's Bathtub Gin, and like that's cool.
Huh.
And they did it all very well. But Goose, I'm going to see you again. I'm not giving up on you. You're working hard. You're very talented guys. But I feel a little bit like Scott Aukerman in the Phish podcast, where I don't know. I don't want to be a hater, and I also don't want to be like the old Phish head that didn't like Phish. But I feel like that equation is fraught. So I'm just going to put it at that. And what else? Well, I got Billy Strings coming up on this Sunday, and I got Lizzo next Thursday. So big concert week.
Wow. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, I picked up some Danny Elfman tickets because he's going to be putting on that from Boingo to whatever show here in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I also got Duran tickets and Janet Jackson tickets. So that's what
Where's
summer
Janet playing?
Down in Chula Vista at the big amphitheater. So we got like the $25 lawn seats.
And since we've talked, your son saw a 3-night Phish run with you.
And have we not discussed that? Okay.
We have. Well, we have personally, but to our thousands of listeners, we have not discussed.
Sure.
This.
Well, let me tell you about Bowie's first trip to see Phish. He saw all 3 Hollywood Bowl shows. It was kind of a last minute decision.
He's beating out my Great Woods run for my first multi-show run. It was only 2,
it's true.
I did take acid one of those nights. I'm just trying to, one up your son a little bit.
He just went with the contact high for night 1.
Okay.
But he did great. I mean, he was so excited. He studied the songs, so he had a list of things that he wanted to see. David Bowie, Wolfman's brother, and of course Harpua at the top of the list. He got to the first show. He was obviously a little overwhelmed by the situation. When we were standing in line to get into the show, he immediately asked for his like noise canceling headphones, and already sensitive to the chompers, not even into the venue. And he's already like, these people are talking too much. And I thought, I get it, kid. So he did great. He made it up into the Sam, when did he fall asleep? What was the second song on the? It wasn't 7.
Oh, I don't know.
What the fuck?
I wasn't there.
But I texted you a month
was
ago.
He like sleeping in your lap?
No,
was he laying down?
Like, so like in the second song,
you sat down and he was cuddling up and sleeping and
correct.
That's a magical dad moment anyway.
Yeah, like after the Down With Disease, he kind of cuddled up and he like kind of started falling asleep on my lap for a solid 20 minutes. He was like down. I could even like hear him heavy breathing, like half snoring. And then they started up.
How was that for you though? Like as a dad. That's
fine.
A magical thing to have. You're going to lose that soon, and it's never going to happen again.
The whole weekend was totally magical. I mean, it wasn't great for listening to Phish and paying attention to the jams, because if you asked me, like, what were the best moments, I'd be like, well, I was kind of paying attention to how cute my son was as he was laying in my lap. But after having seen all these shows, it was a great new dimension to add to the experience, I wouldn't trade it for anything, so it was great. But he did... Nice. So he was like falling asleep on my lap, and then they started up the Yem, and then they did the big build as everybody was getting loud, like, oh boy. Then right when they yelled boy, he just jumped out of his seat into the air from sleeping, just throws his hands in the air, yells boy, and then I can see his eyes like kind of roll back in his head, his eyes close, and he falls down on my lap and then just super passes out for another 20 minutes. And then we head back out to the car, and the last song of the first set, we're like walking out, but he doesn't want to leave the venue. He insists that we sit down on the bench before we leave the venue, just in case they start up Harpua as the encore. I assured him that would not happen, but he wasn't taking any chances. So
good man.
So that was the first night.
Good man.
Second night, there was a crazy line getting in, so we missed the Ghost, and we got into our seats, sat down in our seats right as the Bowie chimed opening, and he just like flipped out. I have a great video of it. And he lost his shit, was so excited, and had a great show. Figured out about collecting the glow sticks that night. So, we spent, once the glow sticks came out, we spent a good portion of the time just kind of wandering around and doing that sort of thing. So
that's fun.
It was a unique experience for me because I'm usually like in one place, eyes closed, doing some serious dancing. And this was like me, walking in the dark, trying to dance to this great groove, protect my precious son, and do it all at once. But it was amazing. So he passed out halfway through the second set on the second night, and he claimed that the only reason that was because they played the Bowie too early. They played the Bowie in the beginning, and he blew his wad. It wasn't his fault.
Yep, they blew the wad too early.
That's why he can't play it in the beginning. So, and then he said the third night, I told him he didn't have to go, but he was like, oh, no, I gotta go. And he stayed up the whole time, and not only did he stay up the whole show, at the end of the show, he wanted to wait for everybody to leave so he could find any stray glow sticks. So I think we've got a true Phish fan. Even this, on his first night, I didn't have tickets. He got miracled a ticket for his first show.
Whoa.
By Danny and Karen Beers. Thank you guys. You're amazing.
Whoa.
So
were you staying in a hotel?
Cherry on the cake. Were
you driving every night?
No, my stepmom lives in.
Were you staying?
My stepmom lives in LA.
Oh yeah.
So we just stayed at her house.
So you were staying up there.
Yeah, we just stayed at her house. Yeah.
So out of town, just you and him.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was. We went to like a taco truck and got some El Pastor. We went to this crazy children's museum out in Paso. Yeah, we made a full daddy weekend on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He was a little attached.
That's
to
lifetime
for
stuff.
The following week, but it's okay. Like you said,
so this is what Phish does now. This is soon. Like a,
and I'm,
like you're moving from the like you go see Phish just for you, and this is next level. No, this is why they're still doing it. I bet.
Yeah, no, you're right. And even like he's been asking me, he's like, "Dad, play Cities. I want to hear Cities right now." Or he'd be like, play me the longest version of Cities. He's got the one.
You get him to a point where he's going to be really jealous that you saw certain shows in your life. I mean, I don't think my kids will ever care, but I'm like, that's work on your part. That's
we'll
impressive.
See. I'm just soaking it up for what it is now, because he's going to turn pretty soon and then just be into his own genre or whatever. But yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Storm family? Rob Storm and his children, Ryan Storm among them. Rob Storm was a 1.0 Phish fan, and he started bringing his kids, and now Ryan is like a grown-up guy. I think he's in a band, and he's like a big Twitter guy. He goes to all the shows. It's like a whole full family deal, and I've seen pictures of them, and they're adorable. They're amazing. It's like really aspirational. And this kid Ryan like knows his shit about music, and he likes to argue with the 1.0ers, and he has like these really strong 3.0 opinions, and I really respect him for it. I don't always agree, but I really respect him for it.
Yeah, love what you love.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Well, what a wonderfully pleasurable episode 29 we had, Sam. And 95, it's good to be inside you. Again.
I'm hoping to be here as long as we possibly can. And it seems like at least a handful of these. So we'll be back. And we'll be in the fall, and we will be hooing it up next time, I guess.
Oh, I guess take the time to listen to Quadrophenia before the next episode.
Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of listening.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. All right. Well, to everyone out there, yep.
Touch me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't touch him. Don't touch him. Don't.
Till next time, everyone. So long.
Bye, everybody. Hello, hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.